So what are the best ways and the opportunities to make money as a Christian content creator, or if you have a faith-based YouTube channel? I've got 12 different ways that I want to talk about in this video, as well as talk about a few Bible verses and maybe the right mindset and approach. I think it's going to be pretty valuable, so let's dive in.
You got to just press record.
So a question came in from Barnabas Lawson, and he said, what is the best way to monetize a Christian channel? Books, courses, channel sponsorships, appeal for support? This could make a good video. Well, I agree. And so here we are making a video. Thanks so much for the question. And so let's dive into 12 ways to monetize a Christian or faith-based channel. And number one is the YouTube Partner Program. If you're watching this and you are aspiring to earn money on YouTube, you probably realize that eventually you can get paid for views. It takes 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours of watch time, or 10 million shorts views. Within 12 months, you have to get 4,000 watch hours. And then you can apply for the YouTube Partner Program, start getting paid for your views. If the kind of content you're creating is getting tons of views, then this could be pretty lucrative. And that's maybe more broad appeal. Maybe there's certain Christian channels, right, that maybe they cover culture, they cover trending topics, they cover controversial topics, they get a lot of views. AdSense can pay you pretty well. Number two is going to be affiliate marketing. As with any channel, affiliate marketing's been big here on Think Media because we talk about tech. So I could be an affiliate for Amazon and talk about this microphone or this keyboard or, maybe this plant. I don't know. This is from IKEA. Do they have an affiliate program? You could be an affiliate for anything. You put links in the description down below. Now with a Christian channel, a lot of times people think, well, what am I going to talk about? But there's actually way more opportunities than you realize. There's websites like Daily Grace Co. You could sign up to be an affiliate there, and they have Bible pencils and pens and Bibles and journals. Back when we were doing Think International, target audience of Think International was church leaders. We would interview different pastors, leaders, church planners, missionaries, and it was all about leadership. So one of the affiliate programs I discovered was a program called Preaching Rocket and Giving Rocket, which was like coaching programs to help develop the incredibly tough skill of preaching well and communicating well. And I want to say it might have been a couple $100 program or a couple $1,000 coaching program, which for a professional, is a professional program. If you have built an audience that's aligned with that, then it becomes a win-win. And even if you only get a couple transactions, 10% on a $5,000 program is $500. Next is going to be books, ebooks, and audiobooks. This is a good one in the Christian world. Christians by nature, followers of Jesus, are readers. They're studiers. They're students. If I open this door, how about I open the door? This is a bookshelf right here, okay? This is a bookshelf. But up here, these are, what do we got here? By the way, we got books. And behind this stuff, we got Proverbs by Andrew Womack's Proverbs commentary. We got Swindoll's Proverbs commentary. I was kind of geeking out on Proverbs commentaries. By the way, that's I buy more than one Proverbs commentary. And there's endless Christian authors you could interview on a podcast, and then they've got a book. You could talk about that as affiliate. But here's my point. One of the reasons to write a book is for the audiobook. I wrote a book called YouTube Secrets with my friend Benji. It's been fascinating to see the physical book sales. It's 135,000 or so copies sold total. Physical book, ebook, audiobook. But I want to say we've probably made 50, 60 grand off audiobook sales. So that's number three. Number four, physical products. Now, in the Christian world, number one, you could be anything. But number two, I think about Christina Patterson from Beloved Woman. She is a Bible teacher, and she is one of our Video Ranking Academy students. And she has done these journals over the years. Eventually, you might launch something physical like a journal. Depending on your vision, if you've ever walked through a Christian bookstore, there's lots of different things that have been turned into physical products. Number five, digital products. So this could be online courses. Ebooks would be included in this. It could be downloadables of some kind, but typically it's going to be maybe an online course. And so one of the things they say in online marketing is the riches are in the niches. If you start really specializing down, like maybe the Christian worldview for recovering from postpartum depression or something like that, maybe as opposed to just broad. And by the way, this is also kind of like a proven path. A lot of authors in the Christian world think about building out, here it is, right? There's the book, there's the workbook, AKA maybe the small group study guide, and then there's like the video curriculum that could potentially be distributed in churches. Number 6 is Patreon or websites like that. So this is gonna be exclusive content and perks to paid subscribers. So Patreon is off of YouTube. People sign up to be members, $5 a month, $10 a month. I think you could set the prices all over the place. You could do the same with what's called YouTube channel memberships, is kind of similar. One of the biggest things you want to think about is what percentage do they take? I think Patreon's percentage is 5 or 10%, depending on what level you're at, which is very generous because they're offering you all the technology. YouTube takes 30% of channel memberships, but again, they're offering you all the technology. Number 7 is merchandise, branded merchandise, like t-shirts, mugs, and accessories. One of the cool things that I've noticed in the Christian world lately is like merch has really evolved, like the clothing lines and apparel lines. So of course you could just try to build up a cool brand on your YouTube channel and slap it on a coffee mug, or something. Like I know some you might aspire to fashion, really aspire to design. You've got that Solomon wisdom. When the Queen of Sheba came by, she was like, wow, look at your table settings. Look at how your servants are dressed. Wow, look at the order and everybody's happy. You must be truly wise. And so even Solomon in all of his splendor wasn't dressed like the birds. You know what it is? So you've got merchandise. Number 8, sponsorships. You could partnership with any brand. If you've watched any amount of YouTube, you could be like, this video is brought to you by NordVPN. I mean, if you grow to a certain size, you get sponsored by just something that could work for anybody. But you also might better align with different brands. And by the way, I also sometimes think we're gonna have degrees of maybe how Christian our content is. I think there's kind of like different levels to it, right? In the sense of maybe you're kind of a family vlog channel and it's clear your faith comes through, but that's a little bit different than like I'm teaching the Bible or a Bible study channel or a theology channel. And so all that to say is the big key when it comes to sponsorships is like values alignment. Brands do want to align with creators that have similar values. All right, what else do we got? We got crowdfunding platforms like Kickstarter and GoFundMe to fund special projects. Crowdfunding might be like a one-off. I want to create this new batch of videos. I want to create a documentary. I want to just get started. And maybe I want to expand, like maybe you really add value for 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, and people really love you. And instead of just in a way, you're like, hey, we need $20,000 or we need $100,000 because this year we want to create this content and we want to do this, and you've built trust. And so you raise it with crowdfunding. Number 10 is you could start a nonprofit. Now, that might not be your first step, but here's one of the reasons to do so, at least I could say here in America, is then you could actually give people proper giving tax write-offs. This is especially interesting for Christian content creators because Christians are already used to this. They're used to being able to give to their local church and give to things like missions or charities or 501c3s. Like beyond my wife and I's commitment to our local church, Think Media's commitment, our team, we support Compassion International. And I think right now we're supporting 101 kids through Compassion International, and we're always trying to raise the numbers. My wife may have just raised them. And that's like supporting on a monthly basis. But as a 501c3, that is a write-off of our charitable giving to that nonprofit. So depending on the scale and the vision of what it is you're trying to achieve, if you can qualify for that and get that all set up, then you could cast vision and collect donations in a little bit more of a professional charity way than just Patreon or things like that, which is going to be taxed different. Number 11 is going to be coaching. Now, this is an interesting one to think about because coaching is pretty expansive, but the big idea is you would be using your YouTube channel to get awareness, to add value, to give people a lot of free information, to transform as many lives as you can. But I think everyone watching this, you understand the power of working one-on-one with somebody or working in a group with somebody. Remember this, people like to learn from people with shared values and shared beliefs in this YouTube world, or in this online marketing world, or in entrepreneurship, or in business in general. A lot of times people that want to hire a coach, they want to hire somebody that might be teaching the same thing as everybody else, but the values are different, right? I don't want to follow this person over here who doesn't really align with me in terms of faith, family, and other things. I found this person over here, and they have the both things. There's the values alignment and the results. I want to do coaching with them. That's one of the things we do at Think Media. We have thinkmediacoaching.com, which is just an application. We have a team now of certified coaches. We're helping people with not just really their YouTube channel, but the whole strategy, right? And thinking through your whole online business, thinking through your niche, thinking through the whole deal. I'll link to that in the description down below if you're ever interested in doing coaching one-on-one or in a group setting with us here at Think Media. Saying that, those are the 11 ways, but I promised you some tips and Bible verses kind of in part 2 of this video. So let me take a sip of my drink and let's dive in. So I want to thank Barnabas Lawson again for this question on the best ways to monetize a Christian channel, and maybe to share a few tips for maybe the mindset and approach to do so successfully. And I think some things that would apply to us specifically as Christians in terms of how we would approach this. And the first one, I got 5 tips, is to sell is to serve. I think that sometimes a lot of Christians haven't dealt with their money mindsets and they struggle with this area. They struggle with monetization because they struggle to promote things. They struggle to even sell their own things or productize their own things. They feel like the gospel has been freely received, so freely give. So shouldn't I just give all my stuff away free? And I want to encourage you that that mindset should probably be shifted a little bit. Yes, the gospel is a free gift. By grace, you have been saved. You did not earn it, right? By grace through faith. Proverbs 11:26 says, people will curse anyone who hoards grain, but a blessing will come to those who sell it. You see that principle that sales is right there in the Bible. You can see kind of maybe a throwback of that verse to Joseph in wisdom, storing up grain during the good times and then seeing a potential need that might come in the future, a famine, prophetically even. He sees that, what's coming, and he does something. He sets aside some resources. He sets up a business, and then people go, hey man, we're out of food because there's a famine going on, and then he sells it. And so to sell is to serve, because cursed is him who hoards it. Like, you have wisdom, you've got knowledge, you've got creativity for merch, you've got the ability to build a community, you've got a vision to, disciple people. Like, you need money for the mission. There's a great book by Daniel Rabbi Lapin called Business Secrets from the Bible. It's wild. You'd be surprised how much business is in the Bible. Number 2, focus on product excellence over marketing hype. One of the things that I think when it comes to selling or building a product or something that we can make a mistake on is we focus all on like hyping it up, getting the views, getting awareness to it, but then like we let people down on the product. Now, I know that would never be your heart, but there's sometimes an overemphasis, I feel like, in social media where it's like, let's get views, let's grow as big as possible, let's get as many emails as possible, let's just grow as big as possible. And we do really good at marketing, but not very good at fulfillment. And so I want to encourage you. Proverbs 11:1 says, a false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. If you promise something in your marketing, but don't deliver it in the product, that's not honoring God. That is an abomination. But what you want is an accurate balance. You want really good marketing, by the way. Like, content is king, but marketing is queen, and she runs the household. You just want to be great at marketing and even better at the product you build, the result you give, the service you give. It's with joy that I pay my counselor, coach. You know what I mean? It's with joy. They deliver a good product. They've put in the work. They've done the research. They've gone to school. It's a fair trade. Number 3, keep your word. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. For whatever is more than these comes from the evil one. I think that in the Christian community, we need to say something and then back it up. I think this is like the best business verse in the New Testament. Business is about making a promise and then fulfilling on that promise. In a way, YouTube is about making a promise in your title and then fulfilling on it in the video. If you promote someone else's product, do your research and be transparent with the experience. For example, on Think Media, we, number 1, have made mistakes in all of these different areas. Like, I'm not on a pedestal preaching. These are lessons I've learned and the integrity we try to hold us to. We have 7 core values. The first one is the Bible is our blueprint. And so we like to think about, though, like, if we have the title in a video of the best cameras for YouTube this year, we want the answer to be absolutely aligned with our ethical belief. There might be differing opinions, but that we've actually done the research. if a brand comes to us and says, hey, can you say this is the best software? We might say, no, we can't say that. What we could say is it's one of the best, or we might position a little bit differently, but just very, very thoughtful about the meaning of our word and what we endorse and what we put our name on and stamp. It doesn't mean we're without mistakes, but this is something that we're always aligning towards, trying to solve for. Number 4, the result of doing everything we've just talked about is building a good brand. And Proverbs 22:1 says, a good name is more desirable than great riches. To be esteemed is better than silver or gold. What's interesting about a good name is that's really essentially what branding is. Names mean something. When you're unknown, you don't really have a brand yet. So you're in the process of building your brand. But if you hear the company Apple, it means something. Generally, Apple's been pretty faithful and seems to be a pretty strong brand until this thing. And the only reason I had to get this was because, true story, my son picked my iPhone, 1 terabyte, Pro Max 13, I think, out of our stroller and walked over to a storm drain and threw it down into the storm drain. That's a true story. Apple is a brand name, but overall, they've built a strong brand. It means something, and you might love them or hate them. And so a couple things here when it comes to monetizing, I think it's long-term thinking, not making short-term decisions for quick money, but even delaying monetization or delaying gratification. What reputation do you want over the long haul when choosing your monetization path? Make smart decisions. Lastly, honesty and integrity, which I think kind of sums this up. This is number 5. Proverbs 11:3 says, the integrity of the upright guides them, but the unfaithful are destroyed by their duplicity. I wrote down integrity, being truthful and honest in all your dealings, reliability, like you're reliable. And this is something about, like, you want to make money on YouTube while honoring God. One way to be reliable is to be consistent. You want to let your yes be yes and no be no. If you say, I'm going to start a YouTube channel and I'm going to deliver this kind of value and I'm going to show up, as soon as you stop showing up, that's an integrity breach. You got to at least give it a fair shot. You got to at least, I think, that's being reliable. Can people depend on you to show up on your podcast? Can people depend on you to show up on YouTube? Let me know in the comments. If you've been here for a while, you're like, yeah, Think Media is reliable. Like, they've been showing up for a while, that actually is part of integrity. And I think that's something you want to make more money, increase your integrity. If you got value out of this conversation, you can always smash the like button and subscribe. And if you click or tap the screen, I've actually got a couple videos. There's one in particular that I think you're gonna like in terms of verses every Christian content creator needs to know. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I'll catch you in the next one.